Hey, welcome to our podcast. I'm Chris.
I'm Pierre.
Today, we're going to be talking about two poems. One is by Jaylene Clark Owens, and the other is by Rudy Francisco. This will be the second poem that we're checking out for Rudy. If you want to see the other one we did, it's up on the channel or up on the podcast wherever you get podcasts from.
Right.
Um, yeah, and for Jaylene's poem, Pierre, uh, I need a little bit of context here because, as you know, I started listening from the 19-minute and 30-second mark since that's
Yeah.
going to be what we're talking about. And it sounded like she was in the middle of just talking to the audience, like she was reading from a script. And then all of a sudden, her sentences started rhyming.
hmm
So, is that like her just being a good actor that did the transition intentionally like that? Or was that actually like, spontaneous?
Yeah, yeah. She actually segued into this poem beautifully. Like, yeah, it was planned. She didn't tell me.
It was planned.
it's
Okay.
just it was just from how the transition
Wait,
just matched. Cause what's up?
you know her?
No, I say she didn't tell me. I don't know her.
Oh, it sounded so familiar when you said that.
Yeah, no, because I said like it was planned, and I was like she didn't tell me because it's subjective. But if you watch the whole thing, right? I know I've watched this whole like Voices in Power. They mainly have black poets, and I'm black, so I I watch a lot of Voices in Power. So it's just a bunch of poems that they read off from their books or some that no one has ever heard yet. But for that last one, she segued into it like she's stripping. She's not getting the words, which looks very authentic. Like, okay, she's actually
Yeah.
not able to understand this. She's even like getting semi frustrated. She's like, oh, I hate when this happens to me, and then she's like, when my words, and she just goes on from there, which
Yeah.
ties in beautifully to the whole poem.
That was really
Yeah.
creative. That was really
Yeah.
creative. And she
Yeah.
mentions like a couple times that she's a performer too in her poet or in her poem.
That's what
So
yeah,
it
yeah. That's what
checks
these
out.
poets are actually. It's yeah, yeah, this is actually true. So yeah, it was I like that. As you know, well, duh, you're looking at the freaking Google Docs. This would be the second and last of the. So the thing is, I call it positive outlook, right? Like we did a Heart in a Fist by Rudy, Derek Brown, Victoria Explosions. Um, this poem, it same as Derek Brown's, you don't get the full positive outlook theme that I'm going for until the end, because she goes in depth about her anxiety and like things that she goes through, her fears, and then she flips it at the end, just like Derek did. Derek's whole and Victory Explosions, the whole 98% of the poem is just the beatdown, and then at the end he tells you what I'm trying to get at, the positive outlook. So yeah, that's what Jaylene did here, and she does it beautifully. She have a bunch of other beautiful poems, like by itself, and on this slam too. That at Voice in Power, she did I think 3 to 4 poems here in this video. Yeah, I watched this a while ago actually. Um, but yeah, it's I think it ties in well. You know what I'm gonna start doing, Christian? At the end of these segments, these themes, like I want you to like tell me if you think the theme, like if you think what I named the section is fitting, or if should have been something else. Like, yeah, Pierre, this was positive outlook, I get it, but it could have also been hope. It could have also been something else. Because this is just from my take. You let me freaking draw out this whole thing, so that's freaking sick. And there was no complaints or even input or feedback. You were just like, yeah, Pierre, do your thing, and we'll just do them. So so yeah, let me know if these themes are fitting when we finish these two, because
Yeah.
we're wrapping up the positive outlook section tonight with these 2 poems, because we only have 4 poems, 2 parts. But yeah,
Yeah,
it's
sure. I'll be
she
honest.
did it beautifully. I'll be honest, damn it, it crushed my spirit.
Hmm.
Where the fuck did you get a positive outlook from? Bro, this is about anxiety. But crazy stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah,
All
yeah,
right.
man, it's cool shit.
Okay. So what do you say we just get into it?
Let's do it. Let's do it.
All right. And then this time usually I would say check out the video first before watching it with us. You can do that. just make sure you go to the 19 minute and 36 second mark, and then
for
just
our for our portion, but the whole 27 minute of this thing is actually gold too, because Jaylene is fucking damn. Like Jaylene's talented as fuck. Like this is the only snippet you have of her, but the previous 19 minutes of this
mm,
YouTube video are also freaking fire. It doesn't fit into the theme that I'm going for right now. That's why I only pluck
mm,
out the last one. But yeah.
gotcha. Okay, so yeah, just give them a view, check out the whole video, and then come on
Yeah.
back.
Come on
All right,
back.
pressing play at 19 minutes 33 seconds. Here
I
we go.
enter
All right.
society. Okay, here we go. Thank you. Thank you. See, okay. I don't like to mess up. to feel like my mouth can't catch up to what my brain wants it to say. Like to feel like my thoughts and my words are like chaotically intertwining like an intricate piece of crochet. And I know the cliche, nobody is perfect. But if I aim for the Jesus standard and get it 9 times out of 10, then my hard work is worth it.
Okay, pausing at 2011. The transition, of course, we talked about this. This was pretty brilliant on her part. Just her body
Yeah.
language. As somebody who had no context, just looking at this part of the clip, part of the video, I really thought she was like nervous. And she, when I suddenly I just heard her rhyming, I'm like, wait, is this a freestyle? Like, what's going on here? So when you told me that it's intentional, that's impressive that she's able to do that. Like, that's a lot of control you have over your body and your demeanor to give off that vibe, and it's like
Yeah.
part of the story that your poem is about to tell. It's really cool.
Yeah. No, that's dope, man. Like for her, this is yeah, I'm gonna say this is staged because it just too perfectly like just compliment what she's about to say. It's like it's like that's way too what is it? Like it's too it would have been like too like lucky to actually be stressed out to segue into a poem where you're talking about stress and then to swiftly finish from there. But
Yeah.
some poets have actually done it, Christian, where they're actually like Sabrina Benaim. There's a poem explaining my depression to my mother. She was literally having an anxiety attack while performing that poem at a Gram Slam. Her face was like
Uh,
red. No, she's in there.
mm,
When we get to depression, we're gonna tackle Sabrina Benaim. But yeah, it's but for her, yeah, I think that was an act. But that was a beautiful act
mm.
for Jaylene.
Yeah, and there's also like, a couple guys in the crowd. If you watch the video, you can see that they're losing their shit once she like started saying, like when she started
Yeah,
rhyming. And
yeah. Oh,
part of
but
it
also that's what she.
is,
Yeah.
yeah,
Go
like
ahead. Go ahead.
part of it is it's probably their hype over the way that she transitioned into her poem, just like we were discussing. But I also think, just in general, it's pretty amazing how well structured words can rattle a person's soul so deeply that it results in like a physical reaction. Like
Yeah.
the words of a skilled poet can sometimes enable a person to structure their own chaotically intertwined thoughts, to borrow her phrasing, which leads
Of
them to an
course.
internal release that is so satisfying. There's like this bodily response. And I guess,
Straight bars.
yeah. And I guess like it's a similar phenomenon to music, right? Like listening to a song that's so good that your body just can't help but move a little bit to it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So poems can make you dance even though there's no music, which is really cool. I like
Ooh,
that.
that is true. Also, it's what she just said too. She just said she just aimed for like a freaking perfect like standard, and if she doesn't get 10, it's just not acceptable. I think those are the words she just said. As in, she's just such a perfectionist. She put herself in such a high. It's not a pedestal, as in the standards she set for herself are hard to reach. Yet she still try to reach them, which
Mm,
some black people can empathize with that. If you look at the crowd, they're most of them are black. Voice and Power is very black centric. So you can even, I don't know, you can even like empathize with that in your freaking, some of us in our lives, this constant need to be perfect, pretty much,
mm,
to not get criticized and shit. But yeah, she get more into it.
mm. Yeah. Okay. Here we go. Oh, Playing at 2011.
Right.
It's that one time out of 10 that causes my heart to plummet. It drops to my core, mixes with my anxiety, and starts to bubble in the pit of my stomach. As a performer, I give the world so many chances to see me fail live and in real time. And I be having a real time battling my F.O.M.U, so sometimes I gotta fake it. They say to deal with your fear of messing up, just imagine everybody naked. But when I blank on stage, I'm the one that feels disrobed, bare and raw, like all my flaws are exposed. My struggle is showing as everyone watches me flounder like a fish out of water. To be swallowed up by the ground is my only wish. My ability to hide my vulnerability is disabled. I'm not able to breathe deep in this moment of panic. Even though it's short-lived, I feel like my brain is broken and I need a mechanic.
Love how she starts heavily breathing. Like she's
Yeah.
acting panicked as she's speaking about being
Yeah.
panicked. That's the performer
Yeah.
coming out. Really, that's
It's the
dope.
words too,
Really dope.
Christian. The metaphors she's using are insane, bro. She's just
Yeah.
Anyway, the one that I want to comment on is coming, but like even the ones from previously, like a mechanic like needs to get fixed, like you fix a car. She mentioned like ocean, like water. It's just man, it's insane. It's insane. She's like vividly describing panic attacks, anxiety that so many of us can relate to. Like seriously.
Yeah. Yeah. She's
Ugh.
cooking right now. She's cooking.
Yeah.
All right. Playing at 2104. Pressing play now.
Because my personality be type A. In school, I will always feel a type of way if my teacher didn't type a A for my grade. The first time I had a panic attack was in college, and I was afraid. Failure poured from my eyes as loss of perfection caused me to hyperventilate. All this from my first ever missed assignment, which the professor told me I can hand in on a later date, but I aim to rise above.
And now also just listen to how after she swallowed, now like her breathing starts to regulate again. It's awesome. It's little details here. But yeah, just pointing that out. Okay. Playing at 21-26.
Not limbo just beneath my impossibly high standard. So when I bend over backwards and I still mess up, it feels like all the good work I've done has been slandered. I steal the joy from my wins because of a few losses, but I'm no thief. This fear of not knowing my lines haunts my dreams at
Okay. All right. Not only Christian, I aim to rise above, not limbo beneath my impossible standards. The acknowledgement that, bro, this bar is too high. But at the same time, the relentless to know that I need to go over this bar that I set for myself. It's just this anxiety is basically like self-induced. but that's mostly what anxiety is. It's something from within. You don't have a control over something you can't even control. But yet these are things that she's setting up for herself that she knows she can't even meet. Like she said, she had a big first anxiety attack. A paper she ended in too late. That her professor told her it's okay. It's like, but even that was like not enough. And then the line, Christian, I steal the joy from my wins because of a few losses, but I'm no thief. I steal the joy.
You really got to think on. You got to like take a step back and think about that. There's a lot going on there,
dude. But she checked herself. I'm no thief, but I steal the joy. Like I'm not able to bask in my wins because I'm so caught up in my losses.
Yeah.
Like, but I'm no thief. Steal, thief, wins, losses. Dude. Oh. No. Jaylene is Jaylene's the shit. Whew. Crazy shit. There's more coming, but yeah. All right, we're going back. We're starting back at 2144. All right.
Night, it is a motif, but I need to wake up. Because making mistakes means you're moving. It means you're not paralyzed by fear. It means you're human. A therapist could help me with my anxiety and make my mind her business. And I could be more like Jesus, but not through his perfection, but through his forgiveness. Forgiving myself, an impossible expectation. A mistake here and there should be cause for celebration because it gives me the chance to learn from myself. Releasing this spirit of perfection will improve.
Oh. See how she's transitioning into the positive outlook, which is my theme, of course. Yay, Pierre. But yeah, it's like making a mistake. Making a mistake means you're moving, Christian. She's learning to forgive herself
Mm.
for giving herself an impossible expectation. Forgive,
Yeah, that
forgive,
wordplay
forgive.
is crazy.
And
Yeah.
then she tells you mistakes gives me the chance to learn from myself, which homeboy told us, homeboy, Derek Brown, Victor Explosions, it is losing that has yielded all the unforgettable lessons. Just as that
Mm.
positive outlook on losses.
Mm.
Mistakes give me the chance to learn from myself. Like the chance to learn because I learned from them. Like I go back and analyze what was done wrong. Okay, we can do this differently the second time. Like how it's
Mm.
tying in, how these people are able to have such great views on terrible things because they pluck out the positivity from it. Like it's the bright side of things. What does a mistake teach you? What not to do the next time? Just, just fucking in awe, bro. I'm in awe. All right, we're starting back at what is it? 22 minutes and 20 seconds. Okay.
Yeah.
My mental health because as a performer, I give the world so many chances to see me excel live and in real time. And I be having a real good time performing up on these here stages, waving words
Okay.
around.
I know I keep harping on this, but I think it's important to acknowledge what she's doing here because I think it's something intentional, very, very, very intentional. She's doing with her whole performance aspect. Because she says again here that she's a performer, and you see how comfortable she sounds. Like when she's saying she loves coming up on stage performing. That's such
Mm-hmm.
a it's a strong contrast to like how she started this poem off, where she
Yeah.
across as like nervous or whatever. I love it.
Yeah.
She's brilliant here. She's really cool. I've
No,
never heard a
the
poet do
act.
this.
Yeah. This is she's taking you through different stages of her anxiety, of her fear, of her ease of performing, but with all those words, they're mimicked, they're matched by her body language through one
Yeah,
poem. That's
yeah,
insane. Like anxiety, heavy breathing. I'm a performer. She's relaxed. Her arms are up. Like nothing's tense. Like the
mm,
start of the poem, she's frustrated. Like I can't get my words like to get out of my mind. And then at the end, she's even more loose with that acknowledgement that hey, it's okay if I fuck up. It's just she
yeah,
even end on a confident note. It's like yeah. She the transition is beautifully done, and this is something you had to have done in front of a mirror
yeah.
because you
You have to
have to
practice
see
this.
as you have to practice this. Yeah, you're teleporting from different moods within like 4 minutes.
Mm, yeah.
It's like nah. All right, crazy shit. But yeah,
All right. 22 minutes, 33 seconds.
To detoxify minds like 100 little sages, minds that include the one that belongs to me. Yes, sometimes I get healing and clarity from my own poetry. I'm ready to combat this F.O.M.U, this fear of messing up. Only Jesus was perfect and I got him in my corner, so yeah, fear, what up? When I mess up, I will work on giving myself grace. Mistakes are just an opportunity to grow and should be embraced. Thank you.
Yeah, those are true words. True words to live by.
mistakes are just an opportunity to grow and should be embraced, which Derek said in Victor Explosion, losing as pregnant with chances.
Mm,
Opportunity to grow and should be embraced because that's basically what it is. What is a chance? A chance is an opportunity to do it again, to try again, to get it
mm.
right the next time. Just these poems correlate with each other so well. I freaking love it. Oh yeah, like drawing out this what is it? Positive outlook freaking poems. It was like so easy to do. It's just I was like, okay, those four poems come to
Mm.
mind right away. But yeah. What is your take on Jaylene Clark's poem?
Yeah, it was a great, the way she told her story. It was great. Like I'll say it again. I haven't heard a mix of poetry or the like spoken word and acting at the same time. I don't think. And if I have heard it before, it might have been like I don't know, maybe like in a rap video, like NF, maybe. Because I know he's
Ooh,
pretty performative in how he delivers his lines. But this was a
this
little
is
different.
true.
Yeah, like because NF, like me and you, we talked about this. His music videos, they're often shot like movies,
Mm-hmm.
and they have this very epic
Mm-hmm.
feel to them. But this is a different setting. It's different context. There's no music, so it's like she's performing on a stage. Both, uh, she's doing a performance for like her acting side, and then also her poetry side. So it's really cool, really unique, and yeah, she's great. That was great. Loved it.
We love Jaylene. We love Jaylene. Okay. Um. Yeah. So now we're getting to the last poem. Rudy Francisco,
Mm.
Complainers. Now, anyone who haven't heard Complainers yet, I can see how Complainers might have some negative, not review. Um, as in, you can look at Complainers and be like, okay, it's a bit condescending. Like, some people actually
Mm.
do go through shit. That
I
is
was
a lot.
gonna I was gonna touch on this at the end, but yeah, you're right.
Yeah, yeah, I can because Rudy is Rudy's very passionate. We started with Rudy actually. We're doing two. There's two of the themes that I chose to start with Rudy and end with Rudy. Like the Heart and the Fist was more mellow, where Complainers is coming right at fucking to tell people like, bitch, you don't got shit to complain about, or the shit you got to
Mm.
complain about are mad small. So the delivery can be like you're not really empathetic at all to people's potentially very, I don't know, hard lives and things that they actually do have to complain about. And I'd understand because yeah, that's one backlash I think that this poem can receive, which I didn't see in the comment section for this poem, but I can see how someone can be like, yo, this dude is seeing this from just a unilateral mindset of about people that complain when people actually sometimes have shit to complain about, which he does mention in this poem. He does allude to a few scenarios, but they're anecdotes in his life where like shit really hit the fan, like people were really going through shit. um but yeah, to not be a broken record, I can see how someone can listen to this and be like, this dude's just condescending. But yeah,
Mm.
crazy shit.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's get into it. So again, check out the full poem by Rudy on Button Poetry. It's called Complainers. We'll put the information in like the description. And yeah, all right, here we go.
Let's do it. mm, mm, mm.
So, the following are true stories. May 26, 2003, Aaron Ralston was hiking. A boulder fell on his right hand. He waited 4 days. Then he amputated his own arm with a pocket knife. On New Year's Eve, a woman was bungee jumping in Zimbabwe. The cord broke. She then fell into a river and had to swim back to land in crocodile-infested waters with a broken collarbone. Claire Champlin was smashed in the face by a 5-pound watermelon being propelled by a slingshot. Matthew Brobus was hit by a javelin. David Striegel was punched in the mouth by a kangaroo.
Pausing at 40 seconds. First of all, an insane way to start the poem. Crazy. Second of all, the things humans are capable of doing when they're on the brink of death. It's pretty remarkable. Like cutting your arm with a fucking pocket knife. Like, do you know how tough it is to break through one layer of skin, muscle, fat, nerves,
And
bone,
bones
and then
with a pocket
get
knife. A
through
pocket knife.
with a pocket knife? And he didn't mention this, but the pocket knife that this guy used was dull. Like it was a dull pocket knife that he did
Oh
this
my
with.
god.
Like, and then after you get through the first layer of all that stuff, there's a second layer of like muscle, fat, bones. Like that's unbelievable to think about.
Mm.
Like that's crazy. But yeah,
The person
that's
who swam
a
through crocodile infested waters.
yeah,
Bro, someone had a freaking watermelon propelled at their face. Wait, did he mention that here?
yeah.
Or is
He
there two
mentioned
different
that.
versions of this poem?
Yeah, he
Okay,
mentioned that.
okay. Uh, yeah, like the complainers I watch from Rudy Francisco from Button Poetry, he is wearing something else. I guess these poets perform these poems over and over. But yeah, I guess Button has like two different versions. But yeah, dude, getting freaking a slingshot watermelon.
What kind of scenario do you
Not
have
yet.
to even be in for that to happen?
Crazy shit. I
Yeah.
hope it was not. voluntary. Like I hope it was an accident, as in like not something like this person signed up for. Hey, let's play a slingshot watermelon game or something. But wait, he gave their name. Yeah, yeah, I can just research this after because these people got to be famous for that. The guy who cut his hand with a pocket knife. This thing was
Yeah,
so
that's famous.
yeah,
That's
like
a famous story.
yeah. That there's been a movie. I think James Franco played the movie. I've yet to watch it because
Hmm.
I just want to preserve James Franco as a comedian in my head. Yeah, I have yet to like watch that, but I think James Franco played it. Yeah, there's just some roles I just don't want to see actors in. But Christian, there are some actors. Oh my goodness,
Wait, wasn't
there's
James
Jason.
Franco? Real quick, wasn't James Franco like in Spider Man as a bad guy?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. He was in as bad. No, but Harry was cool. The Green Goblin. He was a smooth Green Goblin. Like he even died, or he even joined the good side. But Jason Bateman play a movie called The Gift, Christian, where he's a bully. Oh my goodness! Like some actors, I tend to just lump them in one category and leave it there. But like when you swing over to a different genre and body it, bro, that is talent.
It's
Like
like
the chubby dude in Cobra Kai, Stingray, he's the bad guy in Blackbird and
hmm,
the Apple TV show I told you to watch. This guy that goes to jail to trying to freaking get to find out where some serial killer buried the bodies of 3 to 5, I think, women he raped and killed. Bro, this dude played a bad guy, Christian, and bodied that role. I was like, you tap into a different realm and you do it well. It's like that's talent. But yeah, crazy shit.
yeah, and Ron
That's a
Swanson
big
in The Last of Us too, because he's a comedian. So
Last of Us. Who's on? Who's? Oh, that's Bill.
yeah,
Frank.
Bill. Yep,
Bill.
Bill.
Bill. Yes. Yes. Bill meant shit. Bill was serious.
Yeah,
Shit.
yeah, that was
Like
he.
this was not the comedian anymore.
Yeah,
Nah, it's insane. It's Bucky from Captain America. This movie called Eat, where he fucking like eat people. I think the movie's called
jeez.
Eat. Oh, yeah, it's insane. I think the movie's it's food related, the title, but it's just like, oh, I watched that shit on Hulu. This man convinced me he was a cannibal, and he enjoyed that shit.
Hmm.
Crazy shit, Christian. Crazy shit. But yeah, man, it's a hard life.
Yeah. Okay. Playing at 40 seconds. Here we go.
The most amazing part of these stories is when asked about the experience, they all smiled, shrugged, and said, I guess things could have been worse. So go ahead. Tell me that you're having a bad day. Tell me about the traffic. Tell me about your boss. Tell me about the job you've been trying to quit for the past 4 years. Tell me the morning is a townhouse burning to the ground. Tell me the snooze button is a fire extinguisher. Tell me the alarm clock stole the keys to your smile, drove it into 7 a.m., and the crash totaled your happiness. Tell me how blessed are we to have tragedy so small it can fit on the tips of our tongues. You see, when Evan lost his legs, he was speechless.
Oof.
When my cousin was assaulted, she didn't speak for 48 hours. When my uncle was murdered, we had to send out a search party to find my father's voice. Most people have no idea that tragedy and silence have the exact same address. When your day
Pause. Okay, Christian, pause real quick.
Hmm.
Um, so I love the wordplay. How blessed are we to have tragedies so small they can fit on the tips of our tongues? It's
Mhm.
just, it's beautiful writing.
It
Like
is.
if you can speak it, yeah. If words can easily be made to form the tragedy you're describing, it's just minimal. It's small. But that's just the literal sense of breaking down what he's saying. But it's at the same time something that can be vocalized, something that you can put words to, something that you can just talk about. There's always a sense of like ease to it, because the deeper something is, the more quiet like you probably will be about it, because it's just the depth. Like I mentioned, right, when we were doing the first poem we did, Phil K. Teeth, how the Holocaust is just what we know. There are some things that went down that are so tragic that um based on the time that it was, do you think there are still people that are alive this day that survived the Holocaust?
So
um,
actually,
I don't.
you remember the book that I mentioned, Night by Elie Wiesel?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I I could be mistaken, but I think he was one of the last people to be alive, like one of the last survivors of the Holocaust, which is why his book was so incredibly important, just on a
Okay.
grand scheme, because he's like the last person who can give an accurate
Give
account
you a
and do so
accurate, yes.
in a way that's like digestible in like a book form, right? Because not everybody who's a survivor
Okay,
knows how to write and convey ideas.
right.
So
That is
that's why the
true.
book is so important. It's like the last relic.
Okay, okay.
Yeah,
The last archive, literally. Understood.
yeah,
Okay. So yeah, what I was trying to get to is that some of them probably would not even be able to speak it out. And he goes into scenarios with different people that their tragedy is so much that they couldn't even speak. They said when something happened to I think his dad, they had to they had to get a search warrant for his voice. And he tied all that in, which started with how blessed are we to have tragedies that we can just easily speak about on the tip of our tongue, to finish that with tragedy and silence have the exact same address. Because the harsher something is, the more inhumane, the more painful something is, the harder it is to talk about.
yeah.
So
Like that.
you just don't speak.
That in particular really resonated with me.
Right.
Just because I know that's one of my um, responses. Like if I'm like super stressed or dealing with some kind of internal suffering, sometimes silence is like the only response that feels appropriate to deal with that kind of situation. So
Yeah.
I totally get what he's talking about there. Yeah, I resonate with that a lot. So
It's unfortunate.
yeah,
You're so fucking young, man. Ugh, shit.
mm,
Fuck. But yeah, that's true. That's true. But this part I understand. Yes, I do understand. Um uh fuck.
yeah, he's
This is positive outlook, so he's gonna end it on a good note. but
yeah.
but shit.
Okay. All right.
Ah, damn
Pressing,
you, Rudy. This is the second time. This motherfucker keep doing this to us.
shaking your fist at
I'm
Rudy.
kidding. I love Rudy.
Damn you, Rudy.
Right.
All right.
Damn you. Like Derek was sweet. Jaylene was sweet. All right, let's go back. Let's go back. All right. You're starting back at 1 minute and 36
Yep.
seconds.
Is a museum of disappointments hanging from events that were outside of your control. When you find yourself flailing in an ocean of why is this happening to me? When it feels like your guardian angel put in his 2-week notice 2 months ago and just decided not to tell you. When it feels like God is a babysitter that's always on the phone. When you get punched in the esophagus by a fistful of life, remember that every year 2 million people die of dehydration. So it doesn't matter if the glass is half full or half empty. There's water in the cup. Drink that shit and stop complaining. You see, muscle.
All
You
right.
see, muscle.
Pause.
Hmm.
Okay. I can see probably how, because people go through shit,
Hmm.
and these are personal. These are subjective. Like the weight that I can handle, someone else might not be able to. And the way someone else can handle, I might just crumble if that shit ever like happens to me. Um, so I can see how he's slowly segueing into what, from his perspective, is to basically like sprinkle hope on our shortcomings and obstacles. To be like, hey, there's worse, but you got this. And he's gonna go deep into like muscles designed to lift. But it's like but I can see how someone can be like, that's very inconsiderate. But as examples, like God's a babysitter is always on the phone. Like your guardian angel put on his 2 weeks notice like 2 months ago or 2 years ago and never told you. Like you're surrounded by a bunch of whys is happening to me. It just he's painting this picture of just someone just going through a tough time, bro. That fucking just like why me? It's like fuck. It is dark, bro. There's no light at the end of this tunnel, and then he flips it right away. Like don't freaking think about this. There's this water is half empty or half full. There's water in the cup. Drink that shit up and stop complaining. It's like
Hmm.
that's like a fucking personal trainer or some shit. It's like, but that can only apply to the gym. But bro, this is life. So this is why I try to play devil's advocate. Like I understand if someone's like, bro, I don't know, but I get where he's coming from. He means well,
Hmm.
but yeah,
Yeah.
that's all I have to say.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll say more on that like at the end of the poem too. But yeah, I agree with what you're saying completely. Okay.
Okay, 2 minute 9 seconds.
Yep.
We are back to Rudy.
Muscle is created by repeatedly lifting things that have been designed to weigh us down. So when your shoulders feel heavy, stand up straight, lift your chin. Hell, call it exercise. Remember that life is a gym membership with a really complicated cancellation policy. Remember that you will survive. Remember, things could be worse. Remember, we are never, ever given anything that we can't handle. When the world crumbles around you, you have to look at the wreckage and then build a new one out of all the pieces that are still.
Oh, wait a minute. I just thought of something. You know, have you ever tried to cancel a gym membership?
Yeah.
That shit is
Yeah.
the worst. Like, holy fuck, that is annoying. Like, oh my god. I used to go to. All right. Yeah, just
Yeah, let's go. It's your first tangent.
no. I used to go to LA Fitness, and I just now I
Ooh.
go to like a different gym. It's like better equipment, but LA Fitness was a nightmare to cancel from. Like they lock you in this contract in the beginning, and it's like they need you to they take like directly from your bank account. So like, it's the worst, man. They tell you to
Where
write a
else?
mail and then email it to, or then send it in the mail to somebody like in California, like as if we're not living in the 21st century where there's fucking digital email.
Oh.
It's so stupid.
Oh.
So his like comparison
Okay.
here to like how canceling a membership of life is an incredibly difficult
Mm-hmm.
policy or whatever.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, maybe he's had a bad
Ooh,
experience
interesting.
with gym cancellations too.
I've heard gym cancellations are the things. I'm a fair person, right? So any of the things that you just mentioned, they lock you into a contract. I'm assuming they told you in the
Yeah,
beginning
yeah,
this would be a contract.
they did.
Like but the California thing, that's a stretch. Writing a letter, that's archaic. The fuck? What is it, Game of Thrones? Just send a raven?
Yeah.
That's weird. But yeah, when I moved, because I now live somewhere else, I was waiting the last day to use my stuff at the crunch by my house. And the it was gonna be the first the next day, so the 31st or some shit like that. I went in 31st and canceled it. They're like, well, if you told us, it takes 2 weeks. So because of that reason, we are gonna charge you for next month, and then you'll be canceled, even though you won't be there no more. So I was like, okay, I guess that's on me because I knew I was moving weeks ago. I should have just brought it up, and probably I would have known. As in, there are some things that some people do say about things that are really not like that. It's just we didn't know, but they weren't hidden. But for the write a letter shit, that's just fucked up. Fuck. I loved LA Fitness. When I was in Union, I went to LA Fitness. They had a
Mm-hmm.
sauna there, biking room, basketball. It's crazy shit. But yeah, life is a gym membership with a really complicated cancellation policy.
Yep.
Cancellation policy, Christian, when we get to the fucking suicide theme, my God, the cancellation policy of life. This shit's gonna get dark, Christian. We're literally about to get dark. But yeah. until I get there, I don't say shit about that. When life crumbles around you, look at the wreckage, crumble wreckage. Build a new one out of the pieces that are still here. Build a new life. That's a whole double entendre, Christian. Just building rubble, crumble, rebuild architecture again, and draw out your plans again. Start with start with basically lay the foundation with the the leftover pieces to build a new one, just to keep going, just to persevere. But that double entendre was freaking beautiful. Build it with the shit that are still here.
One of my favorite poems. I don't know if I mentioned this to you before. It's called "If" by Rudyard Kipling. I probably sent it to you long time ago. You probably forgot though.
The fuck?
Yeah.
Christian, dude, I'm doing poetry, man. I can include that shit in there. What theme does it go with? Yeah. Tell us
Ah.
about if, Christian,
Oh.
or should we just do it? Do you want us to just do it? What does
Ooh.
if go with?
If it would fit in this little section pretty nicely.
Of positive outlook?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, then we can do if next week, man. If you want, we can just do if.
Yeah, because like
I didn't know you listened. I didn't know.
because it's, I mean, it's short though, so we could, I mean,
Okay.
yeah.
Next week I wanted us to get in the forgiveness theme, and there's only one poem. I just, Christian, one of my favorite quotes of all time. My number one favorite quote of all time is in that poem. But yes, we can do if you want. Oh my
Okay.
God,
Yeah, that's
tempted to say it.
well, I'm gonna all right. So I'm gonna just give a small little line from If because it's related to what you just said. In If, there's a section where he's like, if you can watch the things that you gave your life to broken, and if you can stoop and build them up with worn out tools, that's pretty much what you were just saying, and what Rudy was saying about how when things crumble, you take the wreckage and you use it to build things back up again. It's like what what Rudyard was saying in If, like you stoop and build them up with worn out tools. It's like the same idea, kind of working with things that are already worn out. So
Mm.
yeah, but yeah, for If we talk about it, having a whole designated section for it. But yeah, really cool.
No, if it fits in this one, we can dump it in there and just elongate this by just one more poem because it's only have like four. But yeah. Let's see what you're into, man. As a Marvel fan, I saw What If season 1 and season 2, so let's let's watch If.
Isn't that when
But
Superman
yeah,
is a woman? It's like she changes. Like, what if Superman was actually a woman? Isn't that If?
because you have good intentions, because you've been a good friend, I am not going to
Okay.
take offense to you putting Superman into the Marvel universe in this DC. For that reason, Christian,
Oh
I
shit!
will not. I will
You're
omit
right.
any kind of
Damn, that's
verbal
my bad.
abuse
That's my
I would
bad.
normally lay on anyone
That's
else.
my
But
bad.
you know what, Christian? You're a good
But
guy, so it's
isn't but
fine.
isn't that a thing though? Like, isn't
No,
there an alternate world but with Superman and Superwoman? That's the thing, right?
the latest Flash movie, yeah, they went to save Superman and ended up being they got the woman,
Hmm.
his cousin. In that universe, Superman was a woman. Yeah, I think that actress is from South America. I thought the movie was good, but yeah, it got shitty reviews, unfortunately.
Supergirl.
I love both. We yeah, super girl or superwoman. Yeah, it's weird to say girl. Yeah, like even the TV show Supergirl, it was like, why not Superwoman? Fuck the patriarchy. Which, bro, there's a section, Christian. There's a poem section about the freaking patriarchy and how it's the side effects of it is. I think is what I call that section. We're gonna get to that too.
Hmm.
Ah, so much shit, Christian. So many. We're literally going to dive into my poem repertoire.
Hmm.
I'm fucking excited. But yeah. Let's wrap this shit up with Rudy.
Hmm.
That's out here offending everyone. And this is 2 minutes and 43
Yep.
seconds. All right.
All right.
Remember, you are still here. The human heart beats approximately 4,000 times per hour, and each pulse, each throb, each palpitation is a trophy engraved with the words, "You are still alive. You are still alive." Act like it.
I thought
I'm glad the crowd understood. But go ahead, Christian. Say your piece.
wasn't it button poetry where there's like snapping fingers instead of clapping? Do you know like what's the deal with that?
Snapping fingers. I think that's like if you're at like a speakeasy where it's supposed to be quiet and it's supposed like I'll say that at the door because these things normally take place in like a basement where it's
Oh,
like
okay.
don't be too loud.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
That makes
yeah.
sense.
Or T-Pain, snap your fingers, chew stick. You can do it all, man. All right.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Yeah, so I
Yeah,
think
crazy shit, man.
I think it's important again. You touched on this before. I'll touch on it again here. Like there's nuance to the idea of complaining, right? Like the takeaway from the poem shouldn't be never complain about your situation, just grit your teeth and bear it because somebody else has it worse. That's not a takeaway. I don't think he's I think a more multifaceted takeaway is that to complain is easy, but to complain at the right person, at the right time, for the right reason, with the right duration, and with the right intensity, that's hard. And the latter is what we need to strive for as people who are trying to be in control of our perceptions of life. And in order to do that, you need a global perspective that contextualizes your problems so that you can assign the appropriate amount of energy when dealing with whatever your situation is. Right. So um, that is important to not be lost on. Right. Like this isn't so black and white. There's a lot of gray here. But you share the
Yeah.
same uh, sentiment, right? Like that's
Right.
yeah. So, but yeah, overall, it's
Yeah.
another great poem by Rudy.
Yeah. It's no, Rudy doesn't miss. And when we get I keep freaking foreshadowing all these because I'm fucking pumped. I get to re-listen to these and break them down, re-listen to them for the freaking 50th time and break them down. So it's freaking ugh. Yeah, I love Rudy's like his whole it's always very hype, it's very emotional. He gets into his words and you can tell it comes from a place that's close. Even his anecdotes, he's his yeah, I'll say that actually. Like I think that's something that all poets do. Like you will it'll be rare for you to not find an example from Rudy's life in one of his poems. Like the heart in his fist. He told you about his growing up, how he got in a fight and his family fucking took that shit and hung it in the fridge like it was the greatest accomplishment he could have done at that time, just for him to show you how he was brought up and to praise hostile environment when it wasn't supposed to be like that, which ties into the positive outlook of a violin is made out of a gun, that he should be better. He's learning to be better. That at the end he's like, hey, I look at a violin made out of a gun. I'm like, someday that can be me. That's him working on himself. Or even in this poem, the complainers, where he tells you, when something happened to his family member, like they had to find a search warrant to find its voice. Like, he's giving you traumas through his life that fucking was hard to go through, that they couldn't find words for to accentuate on the gravity of that specific situation. So yeah, he like immerses himself into his poems and give you not even examples, like real life events to correlate with them. He does that very well. And when we get to the fucking black theme, adrenaline rush, Christian. Fuck. That's the one I tell you that's in my gym playlist when I need to
Workout
fucking
playlist.
push myself.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Vinland Saga's on there too. Of course, Vinland Saga's on there. Crazy shit. But yeah, man, it's So, what do you think? Do you think this was fitting that I call this positive outlook for these 4 poems?
Yeah.
Or what else could have I called them?
No, yeah, I think that's fitting. It
You
captures things
don't
pretty
have to
well.
agree with me in front of all these people.
No, trust me. If I didn't agree, I wouldn't sugarcoat it. I would straight up.
I wouldn't even look at it. Yeah. Okay. This ties in the section of positive outlook. We will move into. Right now, I have on the Google Docs forgiveness. I guess, Christian, I don't know if you want us to, I guess we can. If not, it is what it is. But yeah, it's one poem, and in that poem, it has my number one favorite quote. Like I have my top 3 quotes. One's from poetry, one's from a TV show, Billions, and one's from my uncle. Actually, my uncle has this like biblical podcast like every morning. Literally, this man gets up every morning. So on my way to work, I listen to it, and yeah. But my number one favorite quote is in that upcoming section. If we do it, forgiveness. That's from Buddy Wakefield, hurling crowbirds at mocking bars. Oh, fucking crazy shit. But yeah, this that's it, Christian. What else do you have to say?
Yeah. I'm just curious, because I know from Billions, it's probably the creeping erosion. That's your favorite quote, right?
Yes, Christian.
Okay.
Yes.
So what about
my second favorite quote?
What about your uncle, the podcast that he does? What's your quote there?
So it's a biblical podcast, right? Where he's not religious, but he's biblical. So he reads his Bible and correlates it with the current events around the world. Basically, with one message that that the message in the Bible is to return to God, basically to return. But one of his quote that my uncle said, I was driving to work, I had to pull over and call him and be like, bro, was this plagiarized or did this come from you? This man said, democracy is the legalization of immorality. It's just he go okay. I see. I can't even go into it because I can see how that's a very polarized statement that can literally divide a bunch of opinions. So yeah, pretty much he used Bible references and verses and places that have been destroyed around the world and some of the common denominators that they all have where a bunch of fucked up shit were allowed to happen. And he summed it up with that sentence. Uh, that I just forgot. Democracy is the legalization of immorality. Not dictatorship is the not the to flip it and say dictatorship is how things should be. As in when society is too loose, too open to several different things, bad things can come about that turns into a normality, which then turns into a law, which then turns into a requirement, which when shit like that happen, God turns his back on said people or said place and chaos only happens. But yeah, I thought that quote was fucking beautiful. And then the number one quote when we get the forgiveness, I'll fucking leak it because it's that quote was fucking powerful. But yeah, this is my first quote is from Buddy Wakefield. I freaking love that poem about forgiveness. Hurling crowbirds at mocking bars. And my second one is from Billions. Principles don't go all at once. It's a creeping erosion. Sacker's dad told Brian when he was investigating Chuck. Because you don't fucking become bad. Like you, it's like to show you, we all start off good. Like if you replace principles with like goodness, we all start off good. This is why you don't have an alarm for when you do something that's good because you're designed to. But when you fuck up, when you do something that you're guilty, your conscience punishes you. And over time, if you choose to not listen to your conscience, that voice slowly fades until you go on the dark side. So principles don't go all at once. It's a creeping erosion. Like you have to constantly be fucking doing shady and fucking terrible shit over and over and over and over until you're fully bad. I fucking love that quote. And the third one, which I went over, democracy is the legalization of immorality. But yeah, the first one, when we do forgiveness, we'll do it. But yeah, what are some of your favorite quotes, Christian, before we end this? Because I got to go to sleep.
Well, If by Rudyard Kipling, it's kind of just one long quote. So I would probably say that.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, fuck it. And we're going to do If. Yeah, so next week we're doing If to close out the... Now, to be sure, you said it fits the positive outlook?
Yeah, definitely.
If it not, I'll just give it a fucking different... It can have a different subject.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Positive outlook. It is what it is. I've never heard from If. We'll see it. Now it's going to be my turn to judge if this is fitting or not. I'm excited. Yeah. We're doing positive outlook. Then we're doing Buddy Wakefield, hurling crowbirds at mockingbirds. All right. I'm going to sleep. This is too much.
All right.
All right.
Yeah.
It's been real.
All right. See ya.
All right. Bye.